Everyone remembers the horrifying ordeal that a 23-year-old pregnant woman from Belmopan, who was held hostage for days and subjected to physical, sexual, and emotional abuse by her common-law husband and his family a few weeks ago. The vivid images of her wounds tell a harrowing story of what she endured. This week, we also heard about the terrifying experience of San Pedro resident Sabella Brakeman, allegedly at the hands of her estranged husband, Kenny Brakeman. These women's stories painfully highlight what many others suffer at the hands of their partners or someone they know. And today, the launch of the 16 Days of Activism aims to inform victims like Sabella and the pregnant woman that they can access help before the situation reaches that stage. Often, the victim is a woman.
We are telling women, report. Even if you choose then not to take it to court, not to have press charges, report it, report it, report it, so that we know what's happening. Report it for future action, report it just to have it documented, so that when you need to have a restraining order or you make up your mind that you need to have a restraining order, there is a clear history of abuse, of violence, and you are able to get that quicker. Don't sit at home and feel like this is normal. It also helps us to know how many cases there are for resource allocation, so that we can show the people that make policy, that assign budgets and resources, say, look at this. We need more social workers. We need more socio-economic help, psychosocial help.
Thea Garcia Ramirez, chair of the National Women's Commission, pointed out that too often the very cultures we celebrate also harbor elements of gender-based or domestic violence, and it all begins at home during childhood.
But if you don't know how to knead, and if that tortilla no come out round, or if that fried jack no puff and then beat you, well, you look for it, because you need to know these things. And so it's kind of ingrained, and then when it happens to you when you are an adult in a union or a marriage, then my grandma tell me this may happen anyway, so it sort of gets normalized.
You make them more dependent on a man.
President of the Senate, Carolyn Trench Sandiford, shared her personal experiences with gender-based violence from her childhood on Alexandria Street, where such violence was sadly seen as normal.
I could never forget my first experience. Now, at the time it happened, you don't know that what was happening was not right. But within our society, it was normal. Because we had a couple who the man, the husband, was an alcoholic. At that time, we didn't know words like someone is an alcoholic and what flows from being an alcoholic. And whenever that person drank, everybody knows the wife may get beat up. It was as simple as that. And you would hear the noise, you would hear the screams, and there were children in that environment as well. But you also heard like, done your business, you're not forget involved, went to head cup and pillar the night, they want to cuss you out. So you not forget involved and say anything about it.
Many women find themselves in domestic situations where they're expected to shoulder more than a workload just because of their gender. This too is a form of gender-based violence, as Ramirez pointed out.
Women who work a regular 8-to-5 job and have to come home and do unpaid work at home for at least 5 or 6 hours every day, more, unpaid. And the man, if she has a husband or a partner, comes home, does a regular 8-to-5, but he come home tired and can watch TV and does nothing to help around the house. And that is normalized. And that is violence. That is economic violence. You both work, you both live, come home and do your share as well. But that is also normalized, because that's the woman's job and that's the woman work. So if you have a separate job, earning money to help pay the bills, you still have to come home and do that. And we normalize that.
The commission staff made a short presentation titled No Excuse that reflected a part of this year's theme.
He gets upset, unknown reason, and slaps me in the head. He's not himself. He had a bad day at work. He is not being a complete jerk.
No excuse.
No excuse. Cooking in the kitchen. I'm behind, just a bit late. When he came into the kitchen and stoned me with a dinner plate, he didn't mean it, as the plate must have slipped as he held it without a very tight grip.
Keep the dream alive, don't let it die. It's something deep inside, keeps inspiring you to try. Don't stop.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.